Cool. All right, guys, welcome to Open Water. I'm videotaping this class for your amusement and mine as well, to make sure that we do everything correct, as well as I'll put this onto a YouTube channel. At the end of the session, I will make sure to send you guys the YouTube link as well, so you'll be able to review this class. My name is Benjamin. I'll be your instructor. I'm a certified dive master instructor. I'm also a technical dive instructor as well, so I tend to teach from a more technical aspect, but I also believe firmly that if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it yourself. If you guys had a chance, go to our YouTube channel for other things. I work hard to put up 60 seconds of scuba explanations as well. So some of the concepts we'll go over tonight, you'll find on our channel in 60 seconds, explained very quickly and very easily. Assisting me today is my wife, Nikki. She's my partner in crime, my wife, my better half, my everything, as well as my assistant instructor, and she's also technically dive certified as well. So overall, in ways of certifications, you'll find that there's not much within the scuba diving, what you guys are interested in that I cannot teach. Here's a list of some of the specialties I can teach over the course of the process as well. So all the way through tech, I'm also a Platinum 1000 diver and master guide as well, a marine guide, and then technical. And as you go through, you'll notice that I put pictures up. I like pictures that I either took or I'm in or was on one of my vacations to show you what's really possible and what's out there as well. The center picture is a picture of Nikki diving in a cave. I was the one behind her to hook the picture, and there was somebody above her with a light. So cave diving is a real thing, and it's amazing. Absolutely. Give you an idea. Some of my instructors that you'll see pop in and out. I don't have Aaron, but Aaron is behind us. Aaron is a brand new dive guide, soon to be dive master. You have David over here as well, who is a dive master. I'm very proud of David. David's come a long way. I took him through from open water all the way through his courses to dive guide and dive master. And David's favorite dive is 85 minutes at Belmont. I don't know if he took a book or what, but that's a long time to spend down at Belmont. Pretty much everybody you see here is somebody I'm either taking through the process or have taken through the process as well, and I'm very proud of that as well. One of our pride things is the majority of people that come on and dive with us continue diving with us. We do have some cool programs. One of them is a master diver program. You guys are all eligible for that program, and here's what it entails. You go through, you get some specialties, you get a bunch of dives in, and if you make master diver by the end of the year, you get put in for a 7-day aggressor tour for two. An aggressor is a liveaboard somewhere in a beautiful ocean where they do diving, and then they dive, and then they dive, and then they dive, and they eat and you drink and then you dive. You're on a boat that's designed to dive, and you hang out with people and you dive. But you get entered for a drawing for that. Definitely a great way to go. We don't teach master diver as a class. What we do is we sit down as an individual with each one of you, and we say, okay, what do you want to do in diving? And then we figure out your path from there. Now, there are a few classes that I definitely encourage you to take and will definitely make your diving journey better. But if there's other things you want to do and other directions you want to go, we want to make sure we help you find that direction, find the type of diving that you want to do best. I'm certified in just about all of it. So there's not many directions I can't take you. If you want to go full cave, that's a journey, but I can at least get you started on the path and get you there to where you're ready to take a cave course. What you'll find is are a little weird. This was 2 years ago. I also teach ice diving. We just got done teaching this weekend, and that's me on the left in the ice hole. So diving has a lot of aspects, from ice to cold to warm to deep to wrecks, pretty fish to coral. Nikki's favorite dive, I believe, was we did a 2.5-hour dive off of Kona, mile marker 4, and we were at 40 feet the whole time. Pretty fish, coral, eels, crabs, things like that. 2.5 hours of 40 feet. She loved it. It was an amazing dive. So there's all kinds of things in diving. I'm going to go through and we're going to teach this by the diver diamond philosophy. And what that means to you is I'm going to help you understand and give you the knowledge to be able to be a safe diver. I'm going to practice skills with you so that you're able to understand and how things work. All right. I can talk to you about how to drive a car all day long, but until you sit your behind in the driver's seat, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So I'm going to practice the skills with you, and I'm going to do it with you. I also have 2 dive guides with me to make sure that you are safe and you're doing them correctly, okay? I'm going to teach you about the equipment and how the equipment works, how it fits you, its safety procedures, everything that will make you safe. I promise you none of this stuff is rocket science. If it was, I wouldn't be good at it. It's all super simple. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And then finally, SSI talks about the experience. So I'm going to give you experience doing it so that you're comfortable doing it. But for me, experience is a two-sided coin. Not only experience doing it, but I want to have you have a good experience doing this as well. If you're not having fun, I have a firm rule. If you're not having fun in the pool, I kick your ass out and you can go do something else. Just kidding. I don't actually kick anybody out of the pool. But I want you to have fun doing this. We'll tell some jokes. All my jokes are bad. It's okay. If you laugh, you don't get any extra credit. There's no extra credit to give. But let's try and have fun. Let's make sure that you're enjoying the experience and that you understand that this is a fun thing. If you're not comfortable doing it, something's wrong. If you're not feeling good doing it, something's wrong. Have fun. Overall, the process for this is pretty straightforward. We're going to start training, go through some water sessions, learn some new skills, develop some ability. We're going to do some water skills. We're going to review those skills we learned in the previous one and increase confidence. Then we're going to do some water skills. And we're going to review some new skills, invoke some conditioned responses. We're going to do some more water skills sessions. And then finally, at the end of this process, my goal is that you'll be able to jump off a dive boat anywhere in the world comfortably on a recreational dive and be safe. Get to the bottom, enjoy, see pretty fish, coral, sand, anything that whatever you're out there to see, and you'll be able to make it back to the boat, get back on the boat safely with no problems. That's my overall goal. A little bit about me. I like technical diving. Technical diving means that I go a lot past what I'm going to teach you tonight. What I'm teaching guys is how to stay within a box of safety, right? With technical diving, I break the box and I go way past that, which means we can go deep. My wife and I are certified to 195 feet, and we're certified to stay down there as long as we can carry gas. I'm not certifying you that, certifying guys for 60 feet. My favorite dive was probably Black Pebble Beach in Kona, or Maui, the backside of Molokini. Both of them were deep dives for me, and I enjoy that type of stuff quite a bit. I also like wrecks. We did the Lady Luck in Fort Lauderdale, which is a 390-foot wreck that was purpose sunk, and it's a lot of fun. There's some places to penetrate the wreck, all kinds of interesting stuff. It's about 128 feet to the deck, about 145 feet to the sand, 140 feet to the sand, somewhere around there. Those are some of my favorite dives, but if I'm in the water, I'm happy. I was happy at 38 degrees this weekend and teaching ice diving, so blowing bubbles is my favorite thing. So, David, what's your favorite dive so far? Right on. And then, Aaron, what's your favorite dive?
Bottle Fields in Tacoma, Washington, probably.
Right on. Tell us about that for a second.
So they used to dump all the old hand-blown glass beer bottles down there off all the bars and where they bottled beer, and you can go down and find some really cool hand-blown glass bottles. You're about at 85, 90 feet.
Nice.
Lots of wildlife down there.
Pretty neat.
Pretty cool.
Nikki, what's your favorite dive?
You already shared mine.
Okay, fair enough. I do have mics, so if I ask you questions, I'll just put one right over there. So just be aware there's a live mic on your table. Absolutely. So my class standards and procedures, you guys all need to make sure you go through and download the My SSI app. Has everybody done that so far? Yep. Okay, so go to your App Store, your Google Play Store, your whatever Play Store that it works. You're going to download the My SSI app. You're going to log in with the email that Ashley sent you and create a password. What you'll need to do is make sure to upload a headshot, please. If you do not upload a headshot, I cannot certify you. Now, it needs to be at least visible of your face. If I can't see your face, if you upload a picture of a donkey or a dolphin or something other than your face that I can make out, I can't certify you as well. I expect that you'll log into this app and you'll find the open water and you'll do your homework. There are 6 chapters. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to do the entire thing, and there are videos. So read them, watch the videos, enjoy. ask lots of questions. The best way to get the most out of this class is to do your homework, pay attention in class. If you want to, you can go back and watch the YouTube videos and enjoy it and ask lots of questions. Diving is what I'm teaching you guys could fill up about 20 pages of paper. The knowledge of information in diving is about the size of the Encyclopedia Britannica A through Z, which covers a lot of information. There's a lot out there, and I'm happy to share everything that I know. I expect you guys will participate in class. If you have questions, I expect you'll ask them. I can't read your mind. I left my mind reading hat at home, so please, please, please make sure you ask questions. We're going to do 2 to 4 academic sessions. We'll do 2 to 4 pool sessions. As we talked about, we're going to do this one as a longer academic session, and then we're going to do a longer pool session on Thursday. 4 open water dives at the end of this, plus snorkeling skills. We're going to do some equipment assembly and water work. You have to pass your final exam with an 80% or better, not too bad. The good news on that is we will go through the final exam all together. We'll answer all the questions, and then I will hand you a pencil, and you will take it on your own quietly. Easy enough. Very few people, if you listen in class and do your homework, there's no way you won't pass the final exam. Now, just heads up, the multiple choice is not bad. It's the essay portion that gets most people. Okay, there's no essay. And then must have fun or else. Now, as you log into the My SSI app, just be aware. At the top portion, this is actually mine. There's a little gear thing. That's for your settings. If you go to the bottom, there's your courses as well. Let's see. And as you continue the process, you can see very quickly, when you go to the gear, you go to personal data, over to, it'll bring you over to this first screen. Scroll to the bottom, hit edit profile picture, and you can actually do a nice little headshot right from your phone, or you can upload one as your preference. Don't forget, when you finish your homework, go over to sync in settings, scroll to the bottom and synchronize all, so that I can see that you did your homework. If you do not synchronize all, I won't be able to see all your homework most likely, and it won't show completed on my side. As you look at your courses, what I'm looking for at the end of this is that you'll have all the nice little green bars filled. That means you've looked at every page, taken every test. Good news. At the end of every chapter, there is an online test. If you take that test once and pass it 100%, fantastic, you're a superstar. If you take it 152 times and pass it or fail it 151 times and pass it the 152nd time, I won't know unless you tell me. If you tell me, I'll probably make fun of you, but we'll have fun together, right? We're laughing at you, not with you. I mean, with you, not at you, right? As you can see in there, there's lots of videos to watch as well. Make sure to connect with the SSI Diving Network as well. Some of the advantages, you can log in and have your dive buddies on there. It'll show you dive sites. There's also other free further classes in there as well that you can take advantage of. So make sure you take advantage of that. You can log your gear so you can keep track of where you're at in your gear. The best advice I heard the other day at the beginning of this, and Nikki said this to one of the divers, is the main thing she wishes she had done from the beginning of her dive career was made sure she logged every single dive. Now, be aware, as you're logging these dives, log things like how much weight you were wearing, what kind of wetsuit you're wearing, things like that. Log all the details. What was the temperature of the water? What was the temperature of the air? Was there current? Log everything. Because if you put together enough information, you'll be able to put together a metric. And if you can put together a metric, you'll know how to dive your next dive. So, fun stuff. The SSI, by the way, this is my little crew. This was Christmas Eve a few years ago. I'm on the left, my blushing bride is on the right, my son and daughter are in the middle. Diving this as a family sport is amazing. I absolutely one of my 10 favorite dives, and probably my number 1 favorite dive was to get the chance to dive with my kids. So, diving with your family is amazing, and dive with your friends. Course standards. Make sure you study the manual and the videos at home. Complete the academic reviews. I'm going to give you some review sessions and some pool sessions. Complete the open water training dives. Just remember, boring sucks. And just for fun, this is when I got open water certified. That was me in the pool, and that was my open water certification right there. So just to show you, we all look a little dingbats at first. It's okay. Got that mask on my forehead. Don't do that. That's a bad example. I don't encourage that, but just to show you that at one point I was a brand new noob as well. If you would, we live on reviews. We live on referrals as well. If you could, when you get a chance, go online and like Facebook, Idaho Dive Pirates. I put a lot of information out there, and we put events and dive-alongs and other classes that we're doing. So please take a time to go on and like Idaho Dive Pirates. I also have another page called Teach Me to Dive. That's my personal page. And if you think we are great instructors, give us reviews. If you think we suck as instructors, give us a review and be honest. The only thing I'll ever ask of you is always just be 100% honest with me. I can't ask for more than that. If you think we suck, tell us. It's a learning opportunity for us. But please give us a review on all the social, the gaggle things, right? Just kidding. I actually know it's Google. Class participation. What is your expectation from this class? So guys, start with you. What's your expectation today of this class?
I mean, this is something I wanted to do for the last decade. It's something I've always talked about doing. So, kind of want to go out there and have fun. The last time I went diving, it was an awesome experience, and life just goes by too quick.
That's for sure. Well, cool. What's your expectation of me of this out of this class?
That you get me to the point where I'm not going to try to push myself beyond what I probably should. I know that everybody's going to push themselves in some way, shape, or form, but if you push yourself too quick without knowing what you're going to be doing, you're going to get yourself into world trouble. So, kind of reeling me in, keeping me from going too far too fast.
Absolutely. It's an easy thing to do. How about you, Miss Kayla?
I expect that you'll teach me.
Not dying is the number one checkbox that we'll accomplish. I promise you.
Not get eaten by sharks, that type of thing.
Here's
I
a
just
cool
wanna
thing.
dive and be safe.
We'll go through sharks in a minute. And how about you? What's your expectation?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. How to safely have fun.
Safely have fun. What's your expectation from your instructors? What do you expect out of Nikki, myself, Aaron, and David? Start with you.
I mean, to push me until it's right and I have it down and I know how to safely have fun.
Cool. What's your overall expectation to the four of us?
I guess to answer questions that I may not have.
Don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How about you?
Impart knowledge. Like you said, I mean, there's a plethora of knowledge that you can't teach from a book. There's so much that you can learn outside of that, but just impart some of what you've learned over the years that you've been doing it.
Boy, I'm happy to do so. By the way, these are all photos of Nikki and I. That would be me right in front of a shark just before he pushed into me. There was the same thing down here. Nikki and I had a dive boat, found a nice little spiny point lobster over checking out a nice little lobster, or not lobster, turtle over here. Got a couple ice diving. That was Nikki, when Nikki got certified ice diving. One of the funniest things, we got out after dive one, we got back in, and they said, "Who wants to go again?" And Nikki says, "I want to go again." They're like, nobody's ever been that enthusiastic about ice diving. We were diving Strawberry Reservoir, which is about 8,600 foot elevation, and the ice was 24 inches thick. Let's see, where else? What else are we looking at here? This is the seahorse, the Lady Luck, and then that's the typically what you see when you're diving around here. So, and then some dry suit diving at a Bear Lake.
Have you seen a hammerhead?
I have not seen a hammerhead. It's one on my bucket list. I want to see a hammerhead shark. I've seen plenty of other sharks. Been crashed into sharks by sharks. Lemon sharks tend to have no personal space, and so we were on a shark dive, and I was watching over here, and all of a sudden, about that hard right into my kidneys. I had a shark crash. He crashed right into me. I was like, "Oh, hello!" And the secret to sharks is, this is your zone, that's their zone. So if they get to this point, then what you do is you just keep your elbows at your side and you just push them off. And they do their thing. Because what they'll do is they'll crash into you to kind of figure out, is he food, is he not food? And they figure out pretty quickly that you're not food. Core standards. This is the Diver Responsible Diver Code. This will be in your app as well, and you'll need to sign off on this. But let's go through this together. So we're going to dive within the limits of my ability and training. Why don't you take the next line?
Evaluate the conditions before every dive and make sure they fit my personal capabilities.
What do you think that means to you?
Well, if you make a plan that you're going to go diving, got in your head that you're going to go there, and you get out there, and if the situation's just not right or you feel wrong, don't do it.
Absolutely. So we're all out on a dive boat together, and I'm your dive master, dive guide, king of the dive, whatever you want to decide my title should be. I like king of the dive myself, but and I say congratulations. We're going to be doing the Lady Luck today. We're going to plan on 125 foot at the deck. This will be an hour-long dive, so you'll need to go ahead and make sure that your deco bottle is set to 55, and you've got a second bottle. If you're on that boat, you need. Can I get off this boat? You should make sure you stay on the dives that you're certified for. Now, question for you guys: how deep am I certifying you guys for in this open water class initially?
60 feet.
60 feet is exactly right. I'll give you all prop on that one. Good job. So I'm certifying you guys for 60 feet within the non-decompression limits. Okay, so if you get on a dive and they're like, we're going to go to 80 feet, 90 feet, 100 feet, you're on the wrong boat. Now, here's the good news is anybody can call a dive for any reason at any time with no consequences. You are the master of yourself. We get out on that dive boat and it does not feel right. Call it. There is no shame in the game to stop the dive. Don't go on the dive. In fact, it just happened this weekend. I had a guy in a dry suit doing an ice dive. Was down for about, how long was Donnie down for? 4 or 5 minutes, maybe? Maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. He was down for not very long at all. Came up, so I'm ready to get out of the hole. I'm like, okay. Called the dive. He says, I just wasn't feeling it, wasn't feeling right. There was some things wrong. Called it, went into the tent, got warm. We had an ice tent there, got all nice and warm, got back out, and then reset his dive. There are more divers that had an accident that could have been avoided by simply stopping. Then this ain't working for me. Resetting the dive, getting back on the boat. There is plenty of ocean out there. 3/4 of the ocean. The world is covered by oceans. There's lots of water out there. Don't be afraid to call your dive and dive another day. No big deal. Let's go ahead and take number 3 here.
Oh, be familiar with and check my equipment before and during.
What does that mean to you?
Know what you have on your body.
Absolutely. You are responsible for you, right? In the end, you've got a buddy, but y'all big kids, y'all put on big kid pants today. You're responsible for yourself. So make sure you understand how your equipment works and that your equipment is currently functioning. See that one?
Respect the buddy system and its advantages.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, your buddies, help you navigate, be there,
Get tangled up or something?
Yes.
Absolutely. Never dive alone. I've got plenty of stories of diving alone that aren't good. I also am a solo diving instructor. So I can teach you to do that. But truthfully, solo diving is not about diving by yourself. It's about being independent diving of other people so that you're able to solve your own issues. All right, let's go back to the beginning, or to right over here.
Accept the responsibility for my own well-being on every dive.
I think that's pretty self-evident, right? We've kind of covered that. And then finally,
Be environmentally conscious.
absolutely. What does that mean to you?
Just respect your surroundings. Know the way you found them.
Absolutely. The simple way we talk about in diving is leave only bubbles, take only pictures. We don't touch the coral, we don't touch the fish, we don't pet the fish, we don't stick our hands down the shark's mouth. Just kidding. Should we do that anyway? We don't touch things. I'm going to teach you guys how to be buoyant so that when you guys do descend, you're not crashing into things. You're not killing the coral, you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting fish. If you see a nice big green moray eel, don't go over and hug him, give him a little kiss. That's not a good thing. He'd probably bite you anyway. But I see it all the time. We see pictures of this on, I'm always on social media, and I'm a member of 400 dive groups, I'm sure. And every once in a while, I'll see somebody, they're sitting on the coral or they're hugging. I saw somebody hugging an eel the other day. I'm like, seriously, dude? Don't do that. Don't be that diver. Be conscientious of the environment around you. Leave it nice for somebody else. Let's start with it. Let's get it out. What are your concerns about open water diving? What's got you scared or concerned?
Depth, pressure. Going down too deep and not being able to come back up.
Fair enough. It's a valid concern. I can understand that. Good news is I'm going to teach you several ideas of how to always be able to ascend. Your equipment that we're going to be using today is called a buoyancy compensation device. This is a very small one. I'll give you like an adult size. But good news is, that's about enough buoyancy right there to carry the two of you and 30 extra pounds up. So good news is it'll be hooked up to your tank. But as you saw, if something happens and it can't be hooked up by your work with your tank, you can orally inflate it as well. Good news is as well, you'll have removable weight pockets. I'll teach you how to ditch your weights so that you'll become positively buoyant as well, and you'll be able to ascend. So good news, and just more good news, right? But this is a valid concern. I get it. How about you, Kayla?
I'm concerned about the pressure in my ears, only because my boy was talking about that. And I'm worried about just getting used to.
Good news is the number one rule of scuba is always breathe. All you have to do is in, out, in, out, in, out. Enjoy yourself. Easy enough. All right.
I don't really have any concerns.
Non-concerned. By the way, that middle picture is Nikki with her GoPro videoing a shark. And just about all my photos are with a GoPro. Let me get this to play. That would be wonderful if it did. This is what I'm going to train you guys to do. How to jump off a boat. Now this boat is really kicking, and so on this particular day, it was 4 to 6 foot seas. Your boats will not kick this hard. But this is actually what it looks like to jump off a dive boat. Nikki's behind me. Typically, they don't kick like this. This was the only boat that would go out this day. And it only took advanced divers with them. What the captain's called down is line them up. Is the first thing you'll hear is get them all lined up. Dive guides, okay, skipper, we're good to go. And that's me jumping in. That's Nikki right there. And you can see the ocean's kicking pretty good. As you saw, she turned around, she gave the okay. And that's her red fins kicking towards me. And the boat engine is not running, by the way. That's all current. This is on a drift dive. And remember what I said I had split fins? Those were my yellow split fins.
How does the boat know where you are?
We have a line. See that's the dive master, and she has a float above us. We also, Nikki and I always carry something called an SMB, and what we'll do is when we get ready to launch, that pink thing on her hip was an SMB. When we get ready to surface, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and launch that, and that way the boat knows exactly where I'm at. And here comes Nikki. Nikki and I dive enough together that the I love you sign means I'm okay, everything's great, I'm having a good time. Take the volume on so you can hear the bubbles. This is a typical Florida dive. A lot of branch coral, some barrel sponge. This is about 60 feet. 73 actually. So pretty close. And we'll talk about why, but the water will filter out color. So I always carry a flashlight, and that's what you see. Everything is in blue in the background, and when it starts to turn red or a different color, that's because my light hit it. And there's Nikki, and you can see she's got an SMB right there. But this is what we're going to train you guys to go do. They don't have any control over it at all.
We're at in Florida.
This will be off of Jupiter, so not too far from West Palm. You can see lots of cool life. It's a trigger fish. They have teeth. They will bite, especially if you get near their nest. That's a barrel sponge. I like barrel sponges, especially when you float over top of them. Always make sure you look inside of barrel sponges. You'd be surprised how many crabs you find inside of barrel sponges. You want to go get them set up in the pool so they can play? We're not actually going to use the pool today.
A friend of mine was telling me there's this little hotel that's right by West Palm, somewhere around there. But it's a diving hotel, and you can dive down into it and stay there. Anyway, have you ever been there?
I haven't.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah, this is what we're training you guys to do. Yeah, control it. They're just a little bit farther in. There's a nice little eel that we can. There's Nikki.
You go to set up a dive. How do you get a boat? Like, how do you find someone out?
There's a lot of dive operations. We can certainly refer you if you'll tell us where you're going. We can help you find one. And that's the nature of my business with Teach Me to Dive, is to help you find those kind of things and refer you off. Easy enough. All right. So we're going to go through a few things here. We're going to talk about the total diving system. By the way, that is my daughter with a little bit of a handsy Santa on Christmas Eve one year. So definitely scuba divers have a certain sense of humor. So we're going to talk about the snorkeling system, the exposure system, the delivery system, information, the buoyancy system, and accessories. So the total diving system and the importance of equipment from an authorized dealer. The bottom right photo is my wife and I in Yellowstone. We dive Yellowstone Lake a lot. Having good gear that we've had checked out, that we've worked with, that we've gone through and made sure was top notch and is actually rated for diving and scuba, and make sure it's nice, is a key thing. You get up to Yellowstone Lake, you're 3.5 hours from anywhere. If something goes wrong and it breaks, you're done. Your dive is done. You're not going to enjoy that anymore. The center photo is that was me at a nice little reef in November. I dive side mount when I dive by myself, or not when just Nikki and I dive. It's just a different type of diving. I don't put a tank on my back. I put them on my side. But making sure that you purchase from an authorized dealer that will be able to give you the right kind of service, make sure you get the right kind of gear for you. You'll find there's a lot of different gear out there. The gear that we sell in the shop here is quality, and we warranty it as well. So make sure you get it from a good authorized dealer. It'll be better quality as well. So Dave is going to talk about the mask.
All right. Second to put this in here. All right. So, snorkeling, diving. Snorkeling is all your surface work. The this used to be our tip. I think now it's the standard for the shop is to get your own mask and fins. These are about the most personal gear you can get is your mask and your fins and your snorkel. Everything else are pretty well size compatible, but you can have 15 people in a room and all 15 of them will prefer a different mask because everybody's face is just a little bit different. I'm sure you guys have all met your doppelganger at some point, but other than that, you're pretty out of luck on sharing masks. We will do a mask sharing activity where we pass masks around. My open water class was huge. I think we had 12 people in the pool when we did it. And out of those 12 masks, only 2 of them fit my face. So definitely get your own mask. Do you have your own gear?
Yep.
Okay, good. And then we're working on your gear. But masks are absolutely essential. Definitely want tempered glass for diving. That's a huge part of the getting from a certified retailer. Everything we have is certified for scuba. It's tempered glass, and it's certified for depth. The other important thing is, and you brought this up in your concerns, is your ears. All scuba masks have a nose well here. So when you put your mask on, you can put that on, you can still reach in, you can pinch your nose. And you can hear the difference when you pinch the nose. Like you can get a good pinch on the nose, and that will change your ability to equalize. And so we'll talk more about that later, I believe, right? The Valsalva techniques and the different techniques for clearing. But the nose well is a very important piece of the scuba mask. The pressure on descent, it affects your ears, your sinuses, and your lungs. That's everywhere that you have air in your body. We'll talk more about the laws of pressure and all that stuff in a little bit. But the main places that you'll feel squeeze is the technical term for it, is in your ears, in your sinuses, and in your lungs. The nice part about it is, number 1 rule of scuba,
Always keep breathing.
always breathe. It's as easy as that. As long as you're breathing, your lungs are taken care of because they're going to adjust to pressure as you breathe in and out automatically. Your ears, when you pinch your nose well and pinch your nose, if you do it right now, go ahead and pinch your nose and give a little puff, and you feel the pressure in your ears? It's that easy to equalize your ears usually. The only place that you're going to have a more lasting issue is your sinuses. If you feel pressure here while you're going down, stop going down, come up until that pressure goes away, and come down slower, because there is no trick for equalizing your sinuses. You just have to let them equalize over time, and the only way to do that is
Keep breathing.
keep breathing. You just got off a plane. You're probably very familiar with this effect. On the way up, your ears pop, chew gum, all that. Yep. Works really well. So Dan, Divers Alert Network, is the insurance. We'll give you their information. It's really great if you're going on a dive trip, get some insurance for that trip. If you're going to be diving a lot, just get it for the year. It's not that much more to get for the whole year. Ben, you said yours was... Oh, they went up.
Two of us, that was with that's also with the band membership and $200 a person for the Big Daddy insurance.
How many of you guys have ever been to the hospital? You ever get out of there for less than $200? So
That covers for an entire year.
yeah, So it's very worthwhile. Hopefully you'll never need it, but it's the cheapest insurance you'll probably ever buy. Covers all sorts of things, but they've surveyed divers who had issues. They found 89% of divers don't equalize the correct way. So pay attention when we teach you these equalization techniques. Don't just power through it. Like he said at the very beginning, you shouldn't be uncomfortable. This is a very comfortable, very leisurely sport. This is about the laziest sport you'll ever do. We've got all sorts of rotund people, all sorts of elderly who do this, and it's a very comfortable sport. 29% of divers had to stay out of the water for weeks or months due to problems caused by equalizing, and 6.3% of divers have gotten permanent ear damage. So it is important to learn these things.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. We'll be back to David in just a moment. So equalization techniques is huge. As you saw, 89% of people, according to Dan, don't know how to equalize correctly. So it's reasonably important. Now, when should you start equalizing? Good job. The magic answer is immediately upon descent. Once your pretty little bobbin is below the water, that's when you should start equalizing. Now, good news is there's a few different techniques on this. Here's a nice little article I found, and I'm happy to send this to you via email if you would like. 6 better ways to equalize your ears. The number one we're going to talk about is the Valsalva. Simple enough. You take your nose, you're going to pitch your nose, going to look up, and you're going to blow gently till you feel your ears pop. As soon as you start your descent, immediately upon descent, start equalizing. You start, then you will not have a problem. So let's all try that. Let's just look up, blow gently till we feel both of our ears pop. And just keep going gently until you feel both of them pop. Now, if by chance the Valsalva doesn't work, where you pinch your nose, close your mouth, forcibly but gently exhale, bear down, and hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. And that's one of the places where a lot of people miss, is they didn't work. Hold it for 10 to 15 seconds until it completely works, right? Don't be afraid if it doesn't. I had this happen on Saturday. I was diving out, got to about 40 feet, and I was wearing a full face mask, and I was having a hard time equalizing one of my ears. And in the FFM, you push on this, and it blocks your nose. But I blocked my nose, and I kept blowing for 10. It was about at the 15 to 18 second mark. Finally, I could feel the pressure reliefs on that ear and start to let go, and it finally just came completely open. I was like, oh yes, and then I continued down. But again, if you're not able to equalize after 15 seconds or more, don't be afraid. Ascend until the pain stops and wait. The good news is diving is about equalization and equilibrium. The idea is your body wants to be in equilibrium with everything around you. We've all heard about acclimatization, right? You suddenly go to Colorado and start trying to run, and you're like, it doesn't work so well, right? Well, the reason being is you're not acclimatized to that. But over time, your body will acclimatize to that mile high. Fair enough? Remember when it happened to me? I'd got out of TBS, and I had to take a school in Denver, Colorado. TBS is a infantry course, and when I took in the Marine Corps, and it was at about 50 feet above sea level. And then suddenly I went to Denver for 6 weeks, and I was working out of Denver. And I thought I was going to die, and at that time I was a runner. My best 3 mile run when I was in the Marine Corps was 16:10 for 3 miles. So I used to like to run a lot. Now I'm fat and old, so I don't run nearly as fast. But I thought I was going to die there. So your body wants to equalize. So if you come up a little bit, your ears will naturally equalize. Then you can descend a little bit more and try and equalize. Descend a little bit more, and you will eventually equalize naturally. If that doesn't work, the Tanabe maneuver, pinch your nose and swallow. Doesn't work and doesn't do a single thing for me, but with your nostrils pinched and blocked against your mask, swallow. Swallow pulls open your eustachian tubes while the movement of your tongue with your nose closed compresses the air against them. The Lowry technique, pinch your nose and blow and swallow. So basically Valsalva and the Tanabe combined. The Edmonds techniques, pinch your nose and blow and push your jaw forward. You look like a lizard doing it. It's kind of fun. It doesn't work for me either. The Frenzel maneuver, pinch your nose and make the sound letter K. You will find that one of the maneuvers we'll do is I'll teach you to take your regulator out. I always want you to breathe and make bubbles. It's just fun to make the motorboat sound at the same time, but the caw sounds kind of fun as well. If you guys do something funny, by the way, sound travels 25 times faster underwater. I will laugh at you. It will be fun. You will hear me. Nikki says she hears me laugh quite often. I find quite a few things humorous as we dive, and you'll hear me laugh. So don't worry, I'm laughing at you, not with you. I mean, with you, not at you. Actually, with at you, but it's okay. So try that, the caw, and then finally the voluntary tubal opening. Tense your throat. Push your jaw forward. If you can make that work, that works for you. That's great. The secret to all these, look up. Take your time, breathe, relax. This is not a speed sport. If you think you are going to be Michael Phelps, you are in the wrong sport. This is not about going fast. In fact, one of my favorite things that happens, and on day 2 of open water, when we do it at the lake, I take everybody on a fun dive, and usually I end up with the guys. Nikki ends up with the girls, and we go off and we do our dive. Invariably, every single time, I'm going to start switching and make her go with the guys, but I don't want her to get left behind. Is all the guys want to see the whole damn lake in one dive. When Nikki and I dive together and we go on, we're on a boat. I don't think we've ever finished with the group. We always get way behind the group. We get lost behind the group, and we come up when we're ready. So we're usually first ones off the boat, last ones on the boat. And the reason being is we focus on this square foot of area for a while, and then we feel like we've really got a good understanding of that square foot. We move to the next square foot of area, and then we look at the next one. So take your time, breathe, relax, enjoy what we're seeing. This is not a race. You don't need to see the whole dang ocean in one dive. Take your time. Same thing with all these. Be kind and gentle with yourself. Take your time. This is not a speed sport. So enjoy yourself. Go slow. So when should you equalize, guys? Immediately upon descent. Once that little grape of yours is below the water, you want to start equalizing. So quiz time. Sinus squeeze can be prevented by what's the answer, David?
Diving with a cold.
Diving with a cold is exactly right. If your sinuses are blocked, you won't be able to clear. So it was a little bit of a trick. I didn't tell you ahead of time, but I want you to gauge your brains. Now, by the way, when you see these quiz times, I'm just saying they might be test questions. There's probably about 110% chance that they are test questions. So it's to your advantage. If you decided to take notes and write them down, you're welcome to do so. All right, squeeze, the primary effect, equipment-related squeeze. Now, you've got this cool mask, right? It has an air pocket in it. We go down, and the pressure around it. Is there a potential that to be squeezed inside the mask? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in fact, I've seen it. I saw somebody do a 130-foot dive. They jumped off the boat, went straight to 130 feet, and didn't equalize the mask. It popped several blood vessels in their eyes. It was pretty concerning when they came back up, and there was all these red in their eyes. It happens. There's a simple way to avoid this. First one, the basic idea is always breathe, but what do you think would happen if you just breathed out your nose? Would it add air to the inside pocket of your mask? Absolutely. It absolutely does. And a pro tip for you, about every fourth breath when I dive, I exhale out my nose, and it keeps the water out. By creating a positive pressure inside my mask, it pushes the water out. I never have to clear my mask. The only time I ever have to do a hard clear of my mask is every once in a while I'll get an itch. You'll see me do it once in a while. It just invariably happens, especially in the chlorine water. I'll rip my mask off, and I'm gonna put my mask on, and I'll clear it real quick. It happens. But other than that, if I'm diving 2.5 hours, our last dive in Hawaii, I didn't clear my mask once. It definitely leaked. All masks leak, but 2.5 hours, just nice, gentle. Now, I encourage you, when you do let that breath out of your nose, do it gently. All the masks that you will be using at the beginning of this are boogie-free masks. I encourage you to keep them that way. But they're your mask. If you'd like them to be boogie masks, you can certainly do that as well. It's your mask, you choose. All right, quiz time. The first symptom of a sinus squeeze is usually We all in agreement on C? Are we sure?
The sinus squeeze?
Of a sinus squeeze. What do you think?
I would think B, because it's your sinuses. Or no, C, because it's in your eyes, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
C is exactly right, guys. Good job. I appreciate it. So absolutely, when you start feeling that wedging pain between your ears or between your eyes, on your forehead in that area, it's definitely a sinus squeeze. Clear it out. Go back to your Valsalva. During normal diving activities, divers should never exceed an ascent rate of more than
Oh, a descent rate?
ascent rate.
Ascent rate, yeah. B.
Going up.
Is it just like a random guess?
You can
No,
absolutely
I did the online course.
you can
Okay,
random guess.
I was like,
You can random guess it or you cannot. It's up to you.
You trusted me.
The correct answer is A, 30 feet per minute. No faster than 30 feet per minute. Aaron, will you grab the camera and come over with us?
So it's 9 meters per minute? Is that what it is? Okay.
9 meters
I'm
per
doing
minute.
meters.
Come on down, guys. Let's play walk the plank here.
I think that's what I did the course in, was meters.
If all three of you could go ahead and take the time to stand on the mat here.
9 meters.
Okay, here's the finish line. In just a moment, I will start timing you guys, and you are to make it from there to here in more than 60 seconds. Ready, set, go.
Yeah, but like 40 seconds.
1 minute right now.
Okay.
How fast was that, guys?
Slow.
Yeah. Do not ascend faster than that. Now, here's where it gets interesting is if you were diving at altitude, like you were diving around here, you need to go slower than that. If you're diving colder water or you're cold or shivering, you need to go slower than that. That's how you'll prevent DCS, the bends. We'll go over that in just a moment. Pretty slow? Cool. Who's ready for a 5-minute break?